Always giving 100, don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing, I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up, it's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to the place where all the ponies ride, where all the yellow and reds glide, and that is Italy. Yes, the place where all the beautiful cars lie, the place where all the beautiful horse-powered fast cars come from. And y'all know what car I'm talking about. The Ferrari. Yes indeed. So in this episode right here, we're going to be talking about the Ferrari Purosangue, and I'm going to be doing some comparisons because today I have two different Purosangues, one from Purosangue and one from AliExpress. So I have the best of both worlds in this video today, and today I will be able to show you the difference between the two and what they offer. But before we get into the video, I want you to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and I want you to turn on your post notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you guys will be the first to see it and get anything new that I get. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and turn the camera. So first, let me get y'all set up on this tripod here, and flip you. All right. So here we go. These are my Ferrari Purosangues. I actually have three of them, but I didn't want to put all three in the video. I figured two was enough because two are Purosangue and one is from AliExpress. So just in case you don't know, the white one is from AliExpress, and the red one that's wrapped up, that one is from Purosangue. So these are two different brands. These are not the same brands, okay? So we're going to do a comparison also as well. Both brands are very nice, but we're going to do some comparisons. And it's kind of like what I've been talking about in my past videos about the comparisons and having more features with some of these diecast models. And you guys will have this first video right now to be able to see the comparisons as to what I was talking about when I meant it's nice to have a car that has a lot of features because it gives you more to look forward to than a car that is very nice but doesn't have much to offer. Even though it's nice, it would be nice to have more features, but it doesn't. Okay, so everybody knows this is Ferrari's first SUV, the Purosangue. And before we get into the meat and potatoes of the matter, I want to just give you a brief history on the Purosangue, which is not a lot of history, being as though this is their first SUV. But we all know that Ferrari has been a very established car company in Italy, and they are very well known for their cars, and they stand out in a crowd because of their beautiful colors. I mean, that Ferrari red, I mean, it's like no other red you see on any other car. Like, it seems like the red on a Ferrari just stands out over any other type of red. And then they got this beautiful yellow. That yellow just pops like the sun. I mean, it just pops. Like, you just see a yellow Ferrari pull up, it's like everybody's eyes go in that direction. Because you know it's something exotic, you know it's something fast, you know, and that's what Ferrari brings to the table. It's just like their cars are just meant to be showstoppers. They're not all, I mean, they're meant for speed, but they also are meant to turn your head. Like Ferraris are definitely head turners. We all know that. I mean, them exotic colors, that red and that yellow, they just pop, you know. But let me just give you a little bit of a brief history on the Purosangue. And we all know it's Ferrari's very first SUV by Italian automobile manufacturer Ferrari. Everybody knows Ferrari. And it was introduced on the 13th of September in 2022. So we know that the Purosangue has not been out that long. So it's been a good portion of about 2 years and some change. So it's Ferrari's first production four-door vehicle and sports utility, and competes with other high-performance SUVs. Now, this Purosangue would fall in the category to compete with other SUVs like the ones I'm about to show you on screen. So the first one would be the Aston Martin DBX. That would be the first one. And then the next one would be the Porsche Cayenne. That would be another one. And then the third one, last but not least, would be the Lamborghini Urus. So this Purosangue would fall in that category with those high performance SUVs right there. So they made that to compete with them, not necessarily the Bentley or the Rolls Royce. Those are more on a luxurious side, even though they have big engines, but they don't quite move like the Cayennes and the Aston Martins and the Ferraris of the world. So, you know, that Ferrari would go in those categories with those particular SUVs, right? And what I find interesting is that the Purosangue has strictly referred to their SUV as an FUV, not an SUV. F, the letter F, FUV, and that stands for Ferrari Utility Vehicle. I've never heard of that until now, and that's pretty interesting because I feel like they want to stand out aside from everybody else, so they don't want to really call it an SUV. They want to call it an FUV to be a standout above all the rest, and I guess that's what they came up with. So we're going to go with that. Now, the word Purosangue is based on the same. The Purosangue is from a horse. It's a horse breed. Okay, so this is what Purosangue comes from. But here was the dilemma with that. They say in 2020, Ferrari attempted to trademark that name, the Purosangue moniker. However, there was an organization which was called the Purosangue Foundation. They blocked Ferrari from trademarking the name. And as a result of that, Ferrari had to file a lawsuit against the organization for naming rights, which went to court on March 5th, 2021. Now, I don't know how the results came out of that, but obviously, I believe Ferrari may have won that battle. I mean, because as you can see, they do have Purosangue on their trucks. And obviously, it didn't go so well for the organization, because if the organization had won, then Ferrari would have had to change the name of their SUV to something else. instead of Purosangue. But because the name remained, obviously that meant Ferrari won in court and won the rights to the name. And that's what that's telling me. Otherwise, the Ferrari would actually be named something else instead of Purosangue, right? But they say this SUV actually is based on the same platform as the Ferrari Roma Coupe and features fastback reminiscent styling. It has front opening rear doors, which means the doors on the back open as if you're entering a Rolls Royce. Yes, it has rear hinged doors, like a Rolls Royce. And it says on multiple occasions, Ferrari has denied building an SUV. You know, they don't want to call it an SUV. They want to call it an FUV. That's what I meant. They want to stand out above the rest. So, you know, Enzo would probably be turning over in his grave right now if he found out that Ferrari made an SUV. He probably would. That's what I'm thinking. Because I believe he wanted to. I believe him, a guy like him, would want to stick to the tradition of Ferrari. You know, the tradition that they've had for so many decades. And, you know, and I believe this is what he would have wanted. I don't think he would have been too enthusiastic about coming out with an SUV, you know, but being as though he's not around, I guess Ferrari felt like they had to step their game up by coming out with an SUV because all the other companies were following suit, especially the sport car companies that's having their own SUVs for the first time, like Aston Martin and Porsche and Lamborghini. You know, well, not per se Lamborghini, I mean, because Lamborghini already had an SUV prior. Well, I don't know if it was an SUV, but it was definitely a truck, the LM002. So they did have some type of truck, but I don't know if that would be classified as an SUV. It was definitely a truck. So maybe this would be Lamborghini's first SUV, because I think the LM002 was a truck, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was a truck. So anyway, but this is the reason why they called it an FUV, because they wanted to stand out above the rest of the SUVs out there. And that's what they wanted. So they're trying to stick to that. You know, I don't know if it really hit home, but everybody look at it as an SUV, and so I guess that's just the way it stands. And yeah, so that's just a little bit of a brief history of the Purosangue. But also what I want to do here is I want to check the pricing on the Purosangue, because I want to see exactly what the prices were on one of these. And so it says here that the Purosangue MSRP starts off at $428,000. Starts off at $428,000. But I feel like it will probably go up if there are like certain things that you want to add to it and stuff like that. So it's kind of in that range where, yeah, that's not the full price, but I guarantee you it's a lot of stuff on the back end that if you want to add to it, it's going to cost a whole lot more. So I'm quite sure they have a list of things that you can add to your Purosangue to make it more sporty, to make it look, even look good performance wise or anything like that. But I feel like this is what they were aiming for. And the gas mileage, city and highway, is awful. I mean, it is awful. It's only 11 miles city and 15 highway. That is awful. Those are some terrible numbers, for a SUV. Like 11 city, 15 highway. That's not going to get you nowhere, So this is not really meant for long range or really long highway driving. I mean, because this is terrible EPA, the gallons as far as gas. You know what I'm trying to say. It's just poor. You will want more, but that's just very poor for highway and city. 11 and 15. That's really terrible. So yeah, that's not going to do you any good. But in any case, now let's get to the fun part. Now, here's the part of the show where we look at the two and we start doing our comparisons. Because, believe it or not, there are some very much comparisons here that we need to look at so that I can show you guys what I have been preaching about in my videos in the past, when I was telling you guys that a lot of times, for me, detail matters. Detail matters a lot to me. And a lot of times it doesn't get offered. And that's okay, because sometimes you may not find it. But when you have the opportunity to find it and it's there, I tend to take advantage of it. So in this case, I thought Purosangue was going to be the only people to make the Ferrari Purosangue. But when I jumped on AliExpress and saw that they came out with one as well, I was pretty ecstatic, because I knew exactly what I was going to get from them. So now I'm going to give you guys a good shot of these two, because believe it or not, there is a big difference between the two. So we're going to line them up here. Now, right off the bat, you see that they're both two different colors. Now, the one on the left, which is the AliExpress brand, those only come in 3 colors. It comes in red, it comes in white, and it comes in black. The one on the right, which is the Purosangue brand, it only comes in 1 color, and that's red. Okay, so that's the big difference right there, already off the bat. Purosangues only come in 1 color. The AliExpress brand comes in 3. So right there, right off the bat, that's already a difference. Now, here's another thing. Now, because AliExpress does not have the proper licensing to actually do the emblems and logos and everything else, you know, they have to kind of improvise a little bit. So I'm gonna push this back and I'm gonna show you the Purosangue brand. Now, if you look at the Purosangue brand, you could see right on the front right there, if I can get it to zoom in. Come on, because I want you to see this. There we go. And if you look at the emblem, that is the official Ferrari horse on the center of that Ferrari, right? Now let's look at the AliExpress brand. As you can see, that clearly is not a horse. I don't know what that is, but it's clearly not a horse. But I told you, you know, since they don't have the proper licensing, they will do nothing but improvise, which is okay by me because, you know, you can always, to be honest, you can clearly take these logos off and you could go on eBay and find a Ferrari decal sheet that somebody is selling, a 124 decal sheet, and you can easily buy a decal sheet, take these decals off. And when I say take these decals off, they're easy to take off. You just take a dab of acetone, the nail polish remover, take a dab of that and just wipe it on there, and that logo will come right off. And take the Ferrari decals and put it right on here, and it'll replace it just like that. That's just how easy that is. That's already my plan. That's what I plan to do to combat that right there, so we don't look at that silly logo right there, whatever that's supposed to be. Okay, now let's go back to this one. Now, if we look on the side here, there's the other horse logo right there on the side. Now, you see that, right? Now, let's look at the AliExpress brand. This one says RS. I don't know what RS means. I'm not sure what RS means. No, I got a little bit of something there. I'm not sure what RS means, but you can see it says RS on the side. I don't know what that stands for, but it's definitely not Ferrari related, because I don't remember Ferrari ever having RS on their cars. But as you can see, it says RS, so we know that's not the deal. I guess so. Now let's turn it to the rear. So we're going to turn them both to the back, and as you can see, let's look at the comparisons here. Now you could see the one on the left has a license plate on the bottom, which it does. And as you can see right there, now when you look at this logo on the back, it kind of looks like a horse a little bit. Let me see if I can get it to zoom in. There it is. It kind of looks like a horse. Yeah, it does. Actually, that is a horse. It's a galloping horse. But it's not the Ferrari horse, because the Ferrari horse does not gallop that way. Especially on the square one. If you look on a square one, it doesn't do that. Let's see if I can get it to... Come on. Focus. Trying to get it to focus. There it is. You can see on the Ferrari logo, the horse was actually up a little higher, right? But on this one, they made the horse up, but it's not up far enough. You see, and they can't really do it the way they want to, you know, because for them it's not permitted to do so. Because like I said, they don't have the proper licensing to do it. Like I said, which is fine because it's easy to be able to change it. Now you can see the Ferrari on the back of this one. The logo, the horse, is a little bit different. And the license plate says Ferrari Purosangue. You know, you don't have Purosangue written on the back of this one. But let's check out the differences here. Okay, so you can see the rear of this one. It has no red reflectors down by the exhaust pipe, where the AliExpress brand actually does. Another thing that the AliExpress brand has is they highlighted the chrome on the tailpipes. Purosangue did not. Now you see, as far as what I'm saying, as far as detail. Now, here's another thing I want to point out about these Ferraris. Now, this one in particular, I had to literally break the tail lights right down the middle here, because the back would not open, because they made the tail light as one whole piece going across the trunk. Okay, so I couldn't open it. So I literally had to take the tail lights off and literally break it in the middle, or put a slit in the middle right there where the line meets, right there, in order to get the trunk open. Because like I said, they had one fixed piece going all the way across, which means you couldn't open the trunk. But since I split them, now I can open the trunk. You see? So that's that. But I didn't have to do that with the AliExpress brand. And as you can see, the AliExpress brand, theirs is already cut to where it has no interference with the trunk at all. Okay, now let's compare trunks. Now I would say I give this one to Purosangue, because Purosangue has the lid over top, where it has the top cover, where the AliExpress brand does not. It's just open out and open. It doesn't have a cover for the top, but the Purosangue brand does. So I give Purosangue that one. Okay, but as far as the detailing for the rear, that goes to the AliExpress brand. Okay, all right, now let's check out the wheels. This Ferrari has the wheels, has the horse in the middle, nice detailed wheels. You can see the brakes and everything. That the brake calipers are colored in, which is great. I like that. They pay attention to detail. Now let's check out the AliExpress brand. Now, as you can see with the AliExpress brand, the wheels are not as detailed as you can see here. If I can get them both in the picture, then you can see here which one has the better wheels. which is the Purosangue brand. The Purosangue brand has the better wheels because you look here, there's no Ferrari logo in the middle, and the wheels are not styled like Ferrari wheels. Now these Ferrari wheels has detail. I love the detail in these wheels. This one does not have it, but I like the calipers on this one. They're red. So we're going to give the wheels to Purosangue. Purosangue will get that. All right. Now, as far as the front, let's look at the front. Okay. The front of this, we can see, has the grill down at the bottom. No markings or anything like that. Now, let's look at Purosangue. Now, Purosangue actually has a Ferrari logo in the middle. So, let's give that to Purosangue. We're going to do that. Now, we're going to dig a little deeper. So, just so you can see that this is Purosangue, you can see it right there at the bottom. It says Ferrari Purosangue. This is a 1/25th scale. All right, you see that. This one here is a Chinese brand, so there is no name under it. You can just see it says made in China. It has the on-off switch for the lights. So that's all this carries. All right. Now, one thing that this Purosangue, the AliExpress brand has, is the mirrors, side mirrors, they fold in. Purosangue's does not. It's fixed. It does not fold in. Ferrari's does. I mean, the AliExpress brand does, so we give that to the AliExpress brand. Also, let's turn them to the side. Let's see here. This hood opens and you can see the engine on the inside there. So yes, you can see the engine there, very detailed and things like that. So that's very nice. Purosangue, let's see, does it open? Absolutely not. Purosangue does not open at all. The hood does not open on the Purosangue brand. So we definitely have to give that to the AliExpress brand. All right. Now let's get to opening the doors. Okay, so the Purosangue brand, front doors open. You know, you see the inside, not a lot of detail. Let's zoom in here. Let's see what we see there. There's a screen there. We also see something in the center console right there. Let's see if we see anything on the driver's side. There is a Ferrari logo on the steering wheel there. And there is a speedometer, a digital cluster, if you will. It is there. If you see it, it's right beyond the steering wheel there, right where the steering wheel clutch pedals are. And so that's what you get from that one. But the front doors open on this one, and so that's that. Now let's go to the AliExpress brand, where we open the front doors. And okay, we open the front doors. Let's take a look inside that one. And also, this one has a screen as well. And You know, it has detail in the center console there. You can see the silver. You see a silver knob right there in the center. And let's work our way over to the driver's side. Now, with this one here, there seems to be some type of logo right there on the steering wheel. And but as far as a digital dash and everything, the gauge cluster, there is none. So they did not put anything there. So that's a bummer. The Purosangue brand actually has one, but this one doesn't. But that's not it. Because while the front doors only open on the Purosangue brand, on this brand, you also have the rear hinge doors that open. So now we're looking at the rear hinge doors opening on the AliExpress brand. Now, I hope y'all understand what I'm saying about features. And this is what I mean, you know. And the thing is, I love Purosangue. I love their cars. But it would be nice to give us more. Give us more than what you're offering. You know, because these are some very beautiful cars that they make. I love what they do with the Ferrari brand. They do a hell of a job with the Ferrari brand. I mean, it is top notch. I love the work. I love the detail. But I feel like they can do more. You know, they could give us more. Give us what AliExpress is giving us. You know, we get the rear hinge doors. We also get the opening of the front. We also get the opening of the back. You know, now this is what this is what Purosangue gives us. This is all Purosangue gives us. They only give us this. Now you can see only the only opening parts on this Purosangue. But now look at all the opening parts on the AliExpress brand. You get way more opening parts, and you get the rear hinged doors. You see, that is the most fascinating part of this Ferrari, is the rear hinged doors. You see, you get the rear hinged doors, you get the main attraction of this FUV, as they call it, FUV. But because Purosangue is so great with making these Ferraris, they just don't give us enough to enjoy. Like, I want more from them because their cars look too good to not give us the main attraction. If you've given us the Purosangue, give us the rear hinge doors. I don't want to wait till AliExpress come out with their version and they give us the rear hinge doors. I want Purosangue to do it. I shouldn't have to wait for AliExpress to make a replica of it and do it themselves. I want to see Purosangue do it because they make such beautiful cars. Their Ferraris are second to none when they do these cars. They're beautiful. Absolutely stunning. But me, as a buyer in diecast, I don't want to wait for AliExpress to do it. I don't want their version to do what your version should be doing. You see, you only have 3 opening parts to your vehicle. And that's your 2 front doors and your trunk. That's all we get. No hood opening, no rear hinge doors. We don't get any of that. But I had to wait for the AliExpress brand to come out. They gave us the hood opening. They give us the front and rear hinge doors and the trunk. So all the opening parts. which is what Purosangue should have. And this is the case I have been making for a minute about these comparisons. And this is why I continue to shop at AliExpress, because this is what they continue to do. They continue to take these cars and go to another level with them and do things that real diecast car brands should be doing. Like, they're setting the example. All we need for them is to follow that example and make it happen. That's it. That's all. That's all I'm asking as a diecast buyer, as a diecast collector. I buy these not just for looks, but I also do them for comparisons. And this is a perfect example of what I have been preaching about. And you can see the total difference. So, in my opinion, what would you rather have? One with a brand name that has limited opening parts, such as this? It's beautiful and everything, but it's limited. It's only giving you a limit. Or would you rather have a spin-off where all you got to do is change the decals, change these? It's easy to get Ferrari decals, change those, but you have everything you need, including the main attraction, which is the rear hinge doors and the opening hood. You see what I'm saying? There's a difference. Then I had to chop the tail lights in half just to make the back trunk on this one open. I didn't have to do that with this one, but I had to do it with that one. I shouldn't have to do that with y'all, Purosangue. I should not have to do that. But AliExpress, I didn't have to do that with them. It was already set up and it was done from them from the jump. But Purosangue, I should not have to do that. Y'all cars look way too good for me to have to chop my tail lights in half in order to get the trunk open. I should not have to do that, Purosangue. Not at all. Y'all make beautiful cars. Y'all do too well of a job for me to have to do that. I should not have to go through that as a collector. But this is what I mean. And so these are two beautiful cars. But I wanted to bring this to the forefront because I want you guys to see from my standpoint what I have been talking about in my past videos about the comparisons of these vehicles that you get in these real diecast brands versus what AliExpress brings to the table. They're knockoff brands. They do a lot more with these knockoff brands than what these well-known brands does. And I should not have to look to AliExpress to get a knockoff of what the real brands should be doing. This should have been Purosangue right here. That should have been an AliExpress brand where they only limited. Purosangue should have been this. This is what Purosangue should have given us. This. All of this. That should have been the spinoff. Because it's only limited. So it should have been the other way around. If you guys feel the same way I feel, just drop it in the comments and let me know. Because this just kind of like what I've been feeling. This kind of like, and this is not the only video that I have of something where I have a well-known brand and a spinoff. I got another video. It's not coming soon. It'll be soon. It'll be sometime down the line, but you will get another example of what I'm talking about. But this is just the first to show you what I mean when I say that we should get more out of these well-known brands that's giving us these cars as collectors. They need to give us more features. They need to give us more to look forward to. I think it gives the car more value when you give it more, you know. But when it's less, it's not enough. It gives it more value when you give it more. you know. And even though this is a spinoff, this could possibly have more value than that over there because it has opening parts. You know how easy it is for me to change these logos and just get the decals off of eBay and just slap them on there, and I'll have official Ferrari logos on here? It's easy. It's easy. So, with that being said, that's all I'm saying. Now you guys actually got to see what I was talking about. Now you get a comparison as to what I mean. And like I said, this is no shade on Purosangue, because I love Purosangue's Ferraris. This is not the only Ferrari I got from Purosangue. I got a few more from Purosangue because I love their Ferraris. I love how they make them. I love the styling and everything. Like they just so nice. They're so nice. They coming out with some new ones. I'm not sure when they coming out, but when they hit, I'm definitely getting them. But they haven't hit yet. They did give us a preview of what they're going to look like. But when they hit the market, I'm definitely in line to get me the ones that's coming out. And I believe it's like 2 or 3 of them that they got that I like. Now, the I've already seen the AliExpress version, and they don't look so great. I don't like how they look. They're not what they don't look all that great. I saw them, but it just, you know, it doesn't have that. It doesn't have that look. But the ones Purosangue had, on the other hand, like, yeah, it was it. So in this case, Purosangue may not have all of the features that AliExpress is carrying on the ones that they had coming out. It's just in this case, Purosangue had the better look. In this case, even though the opening of the doors and stuff, it has a limit. This time I will go the opposite way around. I will have to go with Purosangue on this one because it looks way better. It looks more like a Ferrari. It's just the AliExpress portion of this one, they just kind of dropped the ball on this one. They really dropped the ball on this one. It's a friend of mine. I have a friend that bought one of them. And I was excited when I first saw it. You know, I was going to buy it. But once I seen it, my friend purchased it, and I got a good look at it from the picture he sent me. It just kind of changed my mind. I changed my mind about it, and I really didn't want it no more after that. So it was just like, nah, that's okay. That's okay. But anyway, these are my Ferrari Purosangues, the AliExpress version and the Purosangue version. I love them both. They both are truly beautiful cars. And it doesn't matter which brand they come from. I love them. They both are unique in its own way. So that's what I like about them. Just one just has more features. The other one has a little bit more detailed looks. You know. So each of them has its own pros and cons, if you will. But I love them. I love them both. You know. So that's the thing I like about that. So, you guys, I want you to drop down in the comments and let me know which version of the Purosangue that you like. Do you like the AliExpress version better because of all the features? Or are you sticking with the original brand of Purosangue because of the exotics and things like that? And it has a limit on the opening parts, but hey, you know, you might like it just for the looks. It looks better with Purosangue than with the AliExpress brand. Or, you know, are you like me? You know, you're more based on more features and more things for your diecast. You know, just drop it down in the comments and let me know, you know, how you feel. And, you know, do you understand what I was saying about the comparisons and everything? You know, just to get an idea of what I was talking about. But yeah, just express all your feelings and everything down in the comments. And until next time, guys, make sure you guys stay safe, stay healthy, stay prayed up, and I will catch you guys later.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no, I'm funded.